This is a training video for Danville, Virginia with Cityworks for mobility, Freeance Mobile for Cityworks. We're going to show how we're going to use the application. This is an Android app, but iPhone, iPad works similar. This is 7-inch Android. It's just where the back buttons and other buttons are located are a little different, but the workflow functionality is the same. We've got an application. We need to have the Freeance application for Cityworks installed on the device. And it's going to be an icon. I can go to different pages here, hit my apps, but we're eventually going to see it. We just need to look for this icon right here, Freeance Mobile for Cityworks. We'll go ahead and click it. And the first screen that comes up will be the options screen. And we need to make sure we have the correct server located. We only have to do this once, but we have to make sure we do it right the first time. Now this freeance.danville.va.gov may or may not be the correct one. Get with your system administrator, Patty, and find out what the server address is for you. Leave the portal protocol alone. It's going to be correctly set. Now hit load config. In this screen we only have to do this once, and we're going to have 3 different user groups. Who are we working with? We're a public works group. Now if I was power and light, I'd just come over and click this one. If I was gas and water, and click this one, but I'm public works. I'm going to go ahead and hit that, and I'm going to hit save. Okay, my login. This is my Cityworks login. This is the same thing I use on the desktop and the web. Now for me, for this training procedure, it's going to be train PW. Now that's mine. That's unique. It may or not be yours. It's probably not. Password is Cityworks. You've got to spell this correctly. If we don't, we'll probably get an error. That tumbler is just hitting the server. It's a little buffering, a little wait for me notification. And the first thing I want to do is go into service requests. I want to call up my service requests that are dispatched to me, the first one. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to go to this first one. We can see information 1053, 1026. So I'm going to go to this 1053 one. It's on Jefferson Ave. It's a sanitary line cap off. Let's just click on it, and it came up. Okay. Now probably the first thing I want to do is let's zoom to it. So this has got a location, and I click on the zoom to, it's going to jump to the map. Where is this located on the map? This is other information that we'll eventually get to. But let's zoom to this on the map and look at it. I'll hit zoom to on the map, and the map's going to come up. This is my Alive ArcGIS server map, and it's set up for my public works information, water, wastewater, all my public works layer. You'll see the loading. It's just loading the map. It's a big map. It's going to come up here in a moment, and it's going to be zoomed into where this service request is located. It's still loading. Here's my base map. Depending on where you are is going to determine how long it's going to take to load this map. So here we go. We zoomed in. Now I'm in Dayton, Ohio. Took a little longer to load here, but just wait for that loading to come off. Now, you notice I've got buildings and streets and property lines. We need to see more information. I need to see my sanitary line. So, see the stack of papers here on the bottom? Click on it. That's my layer control. And just go across. Hey, sanitary, click it. It's on now. Go ahead and hit save. My sanitary is going to come up. That's loading. That's going to come up here in a minute. There it is. There's where my work order is. It looks like I got a manhole and a sanitary line, and it's the end of the line, just like it says in the work order. I'm hitting the plus key to zoom in a little. I can also go with 2 fingers. Plus and minus key are nice because I can zoom in a couple times. Okay, so that's where that work order's located, or service request, excuse me. So I want to get back to the service request. I'm just going to hit the back button down here on the Android. There we go. So I can continue to review this. I can look at this. I've got some comments. I've got caller information, incident information, custom fields. Let's go ahead and update this service request. So bottom right, hit the update key. All right. We're going to add some comments when we get back. So we'll come in here and say we've got a completed date, and it's not the 17th. It is February 20th. So it's just a calendar. Hit set. Let's also go put the time in here. It's going to come up with the current time. Let's just hit set. Unless I did this earlier, I can move it up. Hit set. Let's go ahead and add a photo of this because this is going to be something that will help somebody out. So I'm going to come in here and just hit the camera. Alright, so let's go ahead and just grab a photo here. This is just a corner of the office, but this is normally I would take a photo of the manhole or whatever. I can take a couple photos. I can keep adding a photo. Let's go to the camera again, or I could even take a photo off of the device that's already there. Let's go ahead and grab this photo. Okay, so I can add as many photos as I want. Type in an address. Is there a work order needed? Let's go ahead and say yes. The investigation's done. If we have the authority, we'll go ahead and close this with the status. Looks like I may not have. Okay. When we're done modifying the service request, let's go ahead and hit save. I can always come back in here and re-edit this. I'll hit save, and we save that information. As I said, I can go back in and hit update again, and I'm right back in there. So don't worry about not getting everything. We can always go back. Instead of hitting save this time, I'm just going to hit the back key. We'll go back into it. That would not save my edits. Okay, let's go ahead and save here. Let's create a work order on this. Maybe I want to do one other thing. Let's show you here. I want to create a labor cost because there was some labor involved in this service request. I don't have any existing ones. Go up here and hit add. And this is going to pick my employees, who's in the crew. I'm going to say Carolyn and Mark. I can select one. I can unselect. Put Kathy down. Hit done. Okay. And then we've got a start and a finish. We'll put hours 2. Now this is going to be 2 for each employee. And what type of, it's just regular, or it's overtime. So click on the needed types. We'll hit save. And there I've got 2 labor costs for Kathy and Carolyn. Just hit the back key. We've added labor. You can see my labor costs there. You can go back in there. Maybe I made a mistake. Don't hesitate to go in there and take Carol. Click on Carol and delete it. Okay? Alright, let's hit the back key. And there my labor costs are different now. Okay, so we can add Carol back in. I just hit add, so don't hesitate to, this isn't a one-shot deal. I can go back into things and modify them. And it's all done live on the server. This isn't stored on the device. Changes made on this device show up on the server. Comments. Let's add some comments. This is, as the system administrator, we'll put some standard comments in there like good job, so we don't have to type in all the time. If you've got a comment that always is standard, you use a lot, ask your system administrator to put it in and hit save. Now that went right in there. We've got a good job. I can put more comments in, but we can put in standard default ones. Alright, so there we go. We got a service request. Let's do this. Let's create a work order off this. We've got to continue to do things here. So we'll create a work order, and it's kind of the standard Cityworks templates and so forth. I got to go down. What's my entity group? And what's the feature? And what's the entity type? Sanitary manhole, sanitary line. You can put a manhole here. What is the template? If I don't select this, I'm not going to be able to save my work order. So, general maintenance. Let's just put repair. Okay. Submitted to supervisor. This is all stuff that, if you're familiar with Cityworks, on the web, it's the same thing. Stage. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do one other thing. We've got an asset here. Let's select our asset. Now this is linking that work order to a map feature. You notice I clicked once on my finger. I hit the map once, not twice, just once, and it will bring up the list of features that I clicked on. I want the manhole, so I'm going to click on the manhole. Bottom right, attached to work order. There it is. The asset's there. Maybe I want to add another, and I want to add the sanitary line also. Just click on the sanitary line. There it is. I can look at the information. Attach to work order. Now I've got both. Hey, I made a mistake. I don't want the line. Turn it on and delete it. Okay, now I'm back to just a manhole. Yeah, I showed you how to take pictures. It's the same way. Let's go ahead and hit save. We created a work order. There we go. All right. Let's go back. Let's go back. There's our service request. Let's go back. So we did one. We can also look at, I want to get back to that. There's that service request. Go back to history. If I've got some things I worked on, just go back to history and you'll see that information. Okay? In that history. What did I just work on? That's what that's good for, that history. So there we go. We've got a service request. That's the end of this training. We got training on maps and work orders coming up.